Man, there is a lot of late breaking. Guys, welcome to the show. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. I don't know what's going on with what's a little flyaway kind of thing there. Doesn't matter. You've got the CEO of X resigning. You've got Biden's doctor pleading the fifth. This is all just happening. And of course, the Supreme Court once again reminded Ketanji Brown Jackson that she might not know what's going on. That's the story. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz today. Let's begin the show. Pleading the fifth. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. That does happen more often than we ever give it credit for. But it's something very different when you're the president's doctor. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Find everything I've got going on over at TonyKatz.com. If you would. And there he goes. Oh, not Donald Trump's doctor. No, not Donald Trump's doctor. This would be Joe Biden's doctor.
Will you make any comments to press, sir?
Do you have a message for the committee?
No messages for the committee. Please. The last thing I want to hear about is the committee. Joe Biden's doctor, while he was president. Let me say that again. Joe Biden's doctor, while he was president of the United States, would not answer questions about Joe Biden's health. Wouldn't do it. His name is Dr. Kevin O'Connor. You've got the congressional deposition going on. And he said, you know what? I know you've got questions about Joe Biden when he was president and his health and his mental acuity and all that. Bye, Felicia. And he walked out the door. He left. I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm not going to answer any part of it. Man, that is something. James Comer, who chairs oversight, says Dr. O'Connor pleaded the Fifth Amendment. You are well within your rights to do so. It's not a question. You can do that. You are entitled to do that. You're an American citizen. But you cannot avoid what it's going to say to the rest of the nation. And what it says to the rest of the nation is, you knew something, boo-boo. Kitten, sweetie, dumpling. You knew that he wasn't cogent. I knew he wasn't cogent. We all knew he wasn't cogent. That's what it tells us. It tells us exactly what we already knew. All you did, Dr. O'Connor, was confirm it. James Comer said these were the questions that he had for Kevin O'Connor. Were you ever told to lie about the president's health? Did you ever believe President Biden was unfit to execute his duties? Two solid questions. Number one, were you ever told to lie about the president's health? Because if the answer is yes, who told you to lie? According to Comer, were you ever told to lie about the president's health was answered by, he pleaded the Fifth Amendment. Now, one could say, no, he was going to say, give that answer no matter what question was asked. So the answer is not relevant to the question at hand. It was going to be the answer to all of his testimony. But that certainly would be interesting that if to that specific question, he was answering the fifth. Were you ever told to lie? Because then, of course, the question is, who told you to lie? Who told you? Does their name rhyme with Muse and Dice? Or does their name rhyme with Jill Biden? No. The other question was, did you ever believe President Biden was unfit to execute his duties? I don't know if that's so much a question for the doctor. Wait, take that back. Of course it is. But I mean, that's the proper question for everybody who is a member of the cabinet. Every time I see a Pete Buttigieg or a Kamala Harris talking about the administration, talking about Biden, I am reminded to remind what a lowlife certainly Pete Buttigieg is and Kamala Harris is. They knew. Everybody knew. But they had the power to do something about it. The doctor could indeed have said, I understand the violation that I'm engaged in here, but the country is worth it. This guy doesn't know where the hell he is. One could argue that was not for him to do. But there's no excuse for the cabinet. None. Comer saying before the deposition, there's more and more evidence that comes out every day that would suggest that the president was in a pretty severe mental decline. So we're going to ask about that. No, the doctor did not answer that question. By the way, he was the doctor for Biden when Biden was vice president of the United States. That I did not know. Was not aware of that. So now what does it mean? How does this play out? How does this come together? A couple things worthy of noting here. First and foremost, that the court or the law, the legal, he could take the fifth. The court of public opinion, sorry, we've weighed in. You mother blankers are guilty. You're guilty. You did this. Every single one of you are absolutely 10,000% guilty. Now, I must object to this kind of statement here. Someone leaving a comment, this is like putting cooked spaghetti back in the box. What does it matter now? What does it matter now? Oh, holy cow. It is imperative that Americans know what a coup looks like, what a coup smells like. So when these kinds of things happen again, they act faster. This is about getting a better trained constituency, a better trained citizenry. We're not used to seeing these kinds of things. We're not used to seeing this kind of abuse of power. We're not used to seeing a coup in the United States of America. This is not our milieu. This is not our bag, baby. But we saw it. We witnessed it. We checked it out. So now the question is, what the bloody heck do you do with this stuff? Because you got to do something with this stuff. You can't just simply have it there. You can't have it happen again. It's like COVID. What's the point of going over everything that happened with COVID? Well, it's important to note that doctors like Anthony Fauci are no good, dirty, pathetic liars. It's important to know that the CDC lied every step of the way regarding 6 feet of separation, regarding not letting a wife of 60 years say goodbye to her husband as he died alone. What does it matter? It matters greatly. I am very sorry. The people who want to engage the idea of move on, no, that's wrong. And I must admit, I've said this before, and I know I can't do anything about it. And I am disgusted by it. The people, it's like the Epstein list. Well, it's over and there's no list and the whole thing doesn't matter. It's not even in my top 10. It's not a big deal. Just move on. If you can move on from child sex predators with that kind of ease, you're a different person than I am. I didn't say you were excusing the child sex predator. I'm just saying that you're excusing possibly this sex predator and everybody who was on the island with them. Why? Because somebody was powerful? Don't care. Somebody had an important name? Don't care. Somebody was connected to this country, that country, the other country? I do not care. If you're sexually abusing children, you have to go to jail. The punishment has to be severe. It has to be worse than you have ever imagined. Otherwise, what society do we have? I have a standard, and I am not interested at all in any way, shape, or form with people not focusing on that. Can't have it. Joe Biden's health, Joe Biden's decline, and a cabinet did nothing. And what did that allow for? It allowed for a coup. It allowed for somebody else or a group of other people to be running the country. And then, of course, utilizing the auto pen. Don't we see how there's a straight line? A straight line that runs through a through line, a thread, whatever you want to call it. He was in decline. No one said a word. Everybody covered it up. That led to the auto pen usage of Neera and others. Lord only knows what legislation was never signed. Certainly, I don't believe the pardons were ever signed. I don't believe Joe Biden was running the country. What does it matter now? It all connects. And there's a need to allow the controlled outrage. Look at what Joe Biden did to this country. Look at what the cabinet did to this country. These so-called good people. You think Anthony Blinken is a man of honor? No. You think Lloyd Austin is a man of honor? Served his country, went AWOL, and allowed this to happen. I'll say no. Well, Tony, you never put on the uniform. With all due respect, I never went AWOL either. I wasn't silent when the country was engaged in a coup. Don't tell me I have to have respect for Lloyd Austin. That's just not going to happen. His 4 years under Joe Biden are a travesty. Respect for Pete Buttigieg? Guy could grow all the beards he wants, but we see him. The same smarmy guy from South Bend, Indiana. You want me to have respect for this doctor? Nah. Can he plead the fifth? Absolutely. Is he guilty? Unquestionably. Unquestionably. That he may never see justice, well, sometimes that's the way it goes. Sometimes that's the way it works. But now you know. We all know. They lied. They knew they were lying. And if they ever get a chance to win, they'll lie again. The midterms are November 3rd, 2026. Vote accordingly. I'm Tony Katz. Hey guys, welcome back. Tony Katz. Good to be with you. Just sending off a quick message. Okay, so I've gone through that. Now we got to get into the resignation of Yacarino of X. I don't know if it means as much as other people are saying or want to say, because everybody wants to read into things and they want to be engaged in outrage. But we'll get there. 30 seconds heard. Okay. Go. Got it. All right. Sorry. Had to get done with there. Thank you so much. And it's been a weird troll day. Well, I mean, I haven't shared like the super crazy Jew hating stuff. I mean, that's getting ramped up, I will admit. But no, someone today was, your logo sucks. You're like, you have a lot of free time. So I invite people, if they want to create a new logo for me, they're more than welcome to. You want to create a new logo? Someone did send me an email. With some logos. So I'll see if I can post one of those right there. Well, this one's not so bad. This one is not so it's a little more cartoony than I thought. More than I would do, but I will get this for you. You'll be like whether or not you like that or not. So what to make of this resignation of Linda Yacarino? Is that how I pronounce her last name, from X? She was the CEO, and she's like, you know what? Well, this was fun. I had a good time, but I'm gonna go now. The story out of the New York Post about her is actually quite kind. She brought the business back after a lot of people left, and she ensured the free speech aspects. But there have been some issues as of late regarding Grok. So that is the AI. And I guess the AI has been on some kind of Hitler kick. I don't know. I haven't done anything with it except today. I actually did something where it was, I guess it was referring to itself as Mecha Hitler, which I have no idea what that's even supposed to mean. I don't know what Mecha anything is supposed to mean. But this has been going on for I guess a couple of days. It was espousing pro-Nazi views. It's AI, ladies and gentlemen. And all AI must be taken with massive grains of salt. And when I say massive grains of salt, I mean all of the grains of salt. Don't trust this stuff. And so one was wondering, with all that happening, did she say, you know what, I don't need this anymore. I still have a future ahead of me. I'm done here. That doesn't seem to be the case. There's a conversation that this was something that was in the works for a while. This was her plan, 2 years, and then she'd move on. And there are some people who are like, she got the advertisers back. She brought profitability to X when people said it was impossible. It's an unbelievable turnaround story, and dealing with an insane personality, she's going to be able to quite literally write her ticket and do anything that she wants. So with that, the question is, does this matter? The only way it matters to you, me, and we is if as a tool for engagement are we now having less? Elon Musk's politics don't matter. What matters is that you and I are able to have a conversation. We're still able to share. Does the changing of a CEO change that? And as long as the answer is no, nothing matters. I would argue that that she probably put the group on a better footing. And you'll notice that all the time that Musk was doing Doge, you didn't hear the company complaining or anything like that. The company just kept on keeping on. So, I mean, that is some hard to do for some people. Keep their emotions under control. I don't know what she thinks of Trump. I don't care. But I appreciate her not telling me what she thinks of Trump. Oh, I appreciate that greatly. A tech CEO keeps their mouth closed. Just a bravo. Can we please? A little something? Thank you. Thank you, producer Landon. I'm glad you got the cue cards. It's good stuff. So now, what comes next? Don't have an answer. Don't know. The only thing I'm worried about is the free speech part, the free speech component. If we take a look at what X has done or what she has done, maybe for social media, maybe it's not so much her as it is the landscape. Maybe it is indeed her in how Musk has gone about things, and she has implemented a level of vision along with maybe her own structures with a smaller group. Remember how many people they reduced in a level of size there, how many people had their job removed and things combined, people were fired, the whole thing. Is Linda Yaccarino responsible for some of the things we're now seeing from Mark Zuckerberg? Has she set a standard for how tech CEOs need to act in today's world? Nobody's telling you not to have an opinion or not to have a thought. What we're telling you is don't cram it down our throats, you freak. I never once got from Linda Yaccarino. I never once was left with this feeling that she was lecturing to me. And that's greatly appreciated. Mainly because I don't want to be lectured to. Like you, we don't want any of that nonsense. So she now goes, I don't think anything changes. As for who's next, that's an interesting question. That's an interesting question because I don't think, I would assume that Elon goes to an unknown kind of well. I don't think there's somebody out there who's been a longtime CEO of Name the Place and he puts them in. I can't imagine. It'll be a name known to some people in certain levels of tech circles, but it won't be a name known to everybody. And again, just keep on keeping on. Now, if I'm Elon Musk, do I see this as an opportunity? Well, now that she's out, I can finally do that. I don't actually think that's the case. I think it's actually been going kind of the way he wants it to go. But his real vision for X is the app for everything. All things go through this app. And we haven't seen that yet. Maybe that's what comes next. This is Tony Katz today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. All right, so I was gonna post this for everybody. So this was someone had created a, hey Tony, you need a logo. I'll create one for you. And I was like, oh, all right, if you say so. I don't know if I do actually need a logo. I pretty much got a logo. I'm good. But if you think I need one, I'll take a look at what you're putting together, what you're planning. And someone created this. I don't know if they used AI for this. I'm not sure how they went about it. Let's see if I can. There it is. Okay. There we are. And I will now look at that. Look at me like a pro. doing this. Yeah, you tried doing all the production by yourself. It's kind of a cartoon version of me, but I actually think that looks a little older than I am. So I don't think that's, I don't think that's accurate. Let me get this here. You tell me. You tell me if this looks like me. Does that look like me? Because I am not so sure that looks like me. I mean, it doesn't not look like me. Well, wait a second, producer Landon. I look like Billy Mays, right? So I get that a lot. I get that. Can I just throw it in here? No, it'll just do the same thing. It doesn't matter which way I have it. Yeah. So I don't know. I have the cigar. I don't know about that right there, but I love it. I love it as a little thing there, because we'll put that out there. Billy Mays was OxyClean, right? Yeah. I think it's better than looking like ShamWow Vince. And my choice is between Billy Mays and ShamWow Vince. You think it looks like a Bitmoji? Yeah, I have a basic idea. So I have a basic clue as to what's happening. Is somebody asked that? Did I miss that? Hold on. I was obviously, hold on. Ken, where was this? No, it is not on eBay. It is not on eBay. And let me tell you, my beard has always been a little gray. But this is it. Like right there. Like that is totally it. And that right there is the Dr. Ian Lieber. Good man. Good man. A fine doctor. The best part about him, doubles up the gloves. Actually, Ian, it's been a while, man. It's good to see you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so very much. My goodness gracious. All right, we're coming back to the show. When are we coming back to the show? Okay.
Really have.
They haven't. No, what?
It's funny to me how people focus on how much I talk at oral argument. And I was always this person on the bench. And so it's been a bit of an adjustment, because as a trial court judge, you have your own courtroom. So you can go on as long as you want. And so trying to make sure that my colleagues get to ask some questions has been a challenge for me. But I've enjoyed it.
She does not sound like somebody I would like to go to work with. That is Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. She does talk a lot from the bench. She asks a lot of questions. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Find everything going on at TonyKatz.com. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Now, it's not that I think that, hey, you're new to the bench, why don't you keep your mouth closed and learn something? Every justice is going to do it differently. And when you are a Supreme Court justice, it doesn't matter if you're there the longest or you've been there an hour. You're still called justice. You still have the parking spot, and you've got that position for life. You do anything you like. I don't get to decide for you, and I'm not saying I should decide for Ketanji Brown Jackson. I am saying something different. that her questions do not represent the soundest of judicial minds. Well, Tony, who are you to judge? You're not a lawyer. With all due respect, I can listen, I can reason, and I can say some questions are better than other questions. And certainly I can take a look at those people who are indeed experts in the field and see how they are reacting. And if anything else, I can take a look at how other justices are reacting to Ketanji Brown Jackson. I have seen Amy Coney Barrett in her dissents or in her decisions smack down the Ketanji Brown Jackson dissent with force, what we would call a bench slap, because it happened from the bench. It's a thwack. It's a bench slap. I figure that's kind of back of the hand slap. I don't think that would be a full, that would be like a back of the hand one right there. Right there. That'd be a bench slap. I'm not an expert, but I assume that's how it would go. I have seen Ketanji Brown Jackson interrupted while she's asking questions to try and get some focus back into the proceedings. And then I have this decision that just took place yesterday, where the Supreme Court says, well, you know what? It turns out that the President of the United States can indeed downsize the workforce. Can you imagine? This had to go to the courts to decide. The president can fire anybody the president who chooses to fire anytime the president chooses to fire them. You work at the pleasure of the president. That's it. There ain't nothing else. Yet there were lower courts that said, oh, you're going to reduce the workforce? Oh, we can't allow that. Why can't you allow that? Who said we need all these people? I got 50,000 people who work in, some name the department. Well, we don't need 50,000 people. Well, you can't fire them. They need those jobs. They don't need the jobs that badly. I'm the taxpayer. I'm paying for the job. They don't need the job that badly. And like in any rational world, you're taking a look at the people you have with you. You're taking a look at what your needs are, and then you're making adjustments. And sometimes you have to hire, and sometimes you have to reduce force. The VA under Doug Collins is now saying they're going to cut 30,000 jobs. They're going to cut 30,000 jobs by the end of the fiscal year. The original plan, 72,000 jobs. And when they told me it was going to be 72,000 jobs, I said, okay, 72,000 jobs. That would have been 15% of the workforce. Now that is a number that should make you stop and pause. 15% is 72,000. How many people are working for the Veterans Administration? But it's not going to be 72,000. It's going to be 30,000. Some of those are natural attrition. Some of those are reductions, etc. Some judge somewhere is going to say that the VA can't get rid of 30,000 people. Who the hell is this judge? Why would anybody listen to this judge? Judges who do that should be admonished. Judges who do that should be thrown off the bench. This goes to the Supreme Court, not specifically the subject about the VA, but in general. In general. And hey, court, can the President of the United States fire people? And the Supreme Court, in an 8-1 decision, says, yeah, you absolutely could fire people. What is the argument here? The argument comes from Ketanji Brown Jackson. The dissenting vote, accusing colleagues of, quote, demonstrated enthusiasm for greenlighting this president's legally dubious actions in an emergency posture. When you put an activist on the court, what do you expect but activist talk? And please don't look for rationality. Ketanji Brown Jackson cannot define what a woman is. This is not somebody who I have a lot of faith in. But the story here, as I said, is about what has been happening in the court itself and how the fellow justices are dealing with her. And I do not think it's going well. We know that Amy Coney Barrett, in responding to the dissent from Ketanji Brown Jackson, this, I believe, this was an immigration conversation, said it's obvious that Justice Jackson does not want an imperial executive branch. No, instead, she wants an imperial judiciary. Ketanji Brown Jackson is fine with the idea that all these lower court judges can engage these nationwide injunctions. Right? That when I talk about immigration, it was really about the nationwide injunctions. Well, I don't like this, so I won't allow you to do this all over the country. Who are you? Well, I'm a district court judge from Lord only knows where it is. These Democrats found me at 4 a.m. and promised me a new Lexus if I would just say yes, or whatever it is they promised. I don't know if Lexuses are the currency these days. Who knows? I'm so out of the loop. But the point is, they went judge shopping, and I'll get a favor from these Democrats somewhere down the line. And so while I was getting a favor, I stopped the president from actually being able to do his job. And remember, every time they stop Donald Trump from doing the job, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has zero to do with Donald Trump. This is about you. This is about preventing you from having the president you elected, from having the Congress you elected, and from having the laws properly followed and the guidelines properly followed. This is about preventing you from having what you wanted, which is a society that actually thrives. You didn't listen. You didn't learn. You didn't vote for who we wanted you to vote for. Now you can't have what you want. If we can't stop you at the ballot box, we'll stop you in the courts. And if we can't stop you there, we'll physically intimidate. We'll go on the attack. We'll go on the assault. I mean, these are just facts. We see it with our own eyes. Ketanji Brown Jackson states that this, as I just read, that the court demonstrated enthusiasm for greenlighting this president's legally dubious actions in an emergency posture. Enter Sonia Sotomayor. Now, I have not been kind to Justice Sotomayor. Going back to Barack Obama and this idea of the importance of my Latina experiences. That's what we needed on the court. That isn't what we need on the court. We need people who are textualists, who read the Constitution and then engage with that reading based on whatever case is in front of them. I did not need Brett Kavanaugh's richness of experiences in trying all sorts of beer. What I need is his understanding of the Constitution. Ketanji Brown Jackson makes this statement. Sonia Sotomayor, I've disagreed with a great number of her decisions, and I have found her to be somebody who votes and doesn't adjudicate. She does things down the party line. I may very well owe her an apology because compared to Ketanji Brown Jackson, my God, she is thinking deep. Sonia Sotomayor responds to Justice Jackson, saying in her, I think this is in her she was running a concurring opinion in granting the stay, meaning supporting the president. Justice Sotomayor writes, quote, I agree with Justice Jackson that the president cannot restructure federal agencies in a manner inconsistent with congressional mandates. Here, however, the relevant executive order directs agencies to plan reorganizations and reductions in force, quote, consistent with applicable law. The plans themselves are not before this court. The resulting joint memorandum from the Office of Management and Budget and the Office of Personnel Management reiterates as much. Let me say that again. The plans themselves are not before this court, wrote Sonia Sotomayor, specifically to Justice Jackson, one could think. At this stage, and thus we have no occasion, writes Sotomayor, to consider whether they can and will be carried out consistent with the constraints of law. I join the court stay because it leaves the district court free to consider those questions in the first instance. Allow me to translate. Justice Brown Jackson, I don't think you understand what this case is about. You went about attacking the president, the executive branch, for something they haven't even done. This is about whether or not they can do it. This is about whether or not the president of the United States can engage in the reduction. You, Justice Brown Jackson, are engaging the how the reduction might take place. But there's already the conversation of consistent with applicable law. How does one object to something that hasn't happened yet? What level of Minority Report did you just watch last night that you decided to get into a hot tub full of milk and go all full precog on us? Now, I wish Sonia Sotomayor had said all that. But it's still pretty much a bench slap and a half here. You, Justice Brown Jackson, don't even understand the case in front of you. And I believe that is the story. The story is not, Justice Jackson, you talking from the bench. I think the story is the talk of the justices from behind the bench. And I've said this on social media, and I'll say it here. The conversation, the discussion of impeachment of a Supreme Court justice is going to come, because it seems rather obvious that Ketanji Brown Jackson is in over her head. I'm Tony Katz. Huh. That's just weird. That was so weird. My camera just switched to another camera, like all by itself. That's super odd. So back to the whole logo question. Buster, what's going on? My logo has not changed. My logo is this. I have always appreciated clean, simple, boop, done. I'm not going for a lot of meaning here. But we noticed that when I got these new shirts, like when I said, okay, I want you to embroider the logo, I didn't plan for the white. I just planned for the black, the circle and the TK. So it actually looks like a patch, even though it is embroidered. And it's super big on here. Like, so this is a 3-inch logo, like maybe a 2-inch one would have worked better. If you're going to do the white embroidery behind it. And I have some for Eat, Drink, Smoke that just have the logo and nothing else. And so it could be I need to send a different EPS to them, whatever the case may be. And so that's brought the logo to the fore. I have never needed nor wanted any more than this, simple and easy and stuff like that. But I do have some other versions of my, let me see if I can show you one. I've always had them. Like I've got the whole cityscape version. Let me see if I can find it. Tony Katz. Yeah, like I have one here. Here's one right here. So this is kind of like the skyline of Indianapolis. I don't know if you, have you never seen it? It looks kind of cool the way it is. Like so there's one of them. I've always dug that one a bit. And then I've got one more. Where's like this I don't remember when I create this is maybe older than me. Well, it can't be older than me. So there was that with the microphone there. So I've used that in other things as well. But the main one is this right there. And people are like, oh, you got to change it. It's, dude, I don't have to change anything. If the branding works. No, it's got to have a microphone and it's got to have a cigar in it. It doesn't have to have any of that stuff, right? If we're talking about like this, right, that's just cool. That's fun. But I don't think I necessarily need those other things. But what I've said is that if somebody else wants to design, go ahead, send in the design. If I like it, I'll pay for it. I don't know what the going rate is. I'll pay for it. Feel free. Some people are designers. Some people know things. Go to it. I'm all in. I ran a little long there, so I apologize to the affiliates. Sorry about that. We're in Buffalo this week. Didn't we start? Yeah, I've got that right. I know I have that right. WUSW is where we are joining. And so, hey, welcome. And if somebody can save me a WEC, that would be great. That would be great. A little beef on WEC. Come on, do it the way the people do it. Respect you, Buffalo. You see, you thought I was going to go wings. No. We all know what the good stuff is. That wasn't the actual thing I was going to bring up. I was going to bring up that Honda is now putting a stop to its EV building, specifically SUVs. They had a whole plan. They were going to build out electric vehicle or electric SUVs. And now they're like, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe we don't need that. And the reason, of course, is not because, as we discussed yesterday, well, the left is walking back their position on global warming and climate change. No. Cultists don't walk back their reason for being in the cult. They are getting resistance from you and from me. And the marketplace is responding by saying, okay, I guess we're not doing this craziness. Hybrids, people are down with hybrids. Electric, a very small group of people are down with electric. Forced electric, no thank you. And that goes for hot water heaters and stoves as well. Much more to get to. Find everything at TonyKatz.com. This is Tony Katz Today. All right, so the radio show is in break. Guys, good to see you here, man. I appreciate this a lot. What do you mean, where's my glasses? Oh, on this dude? On this, I didn't make that dude. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. And the glasses are kind of like a newer thing. I mean, all my earlier photos, I never wore glasses. It's just, actually, I do think the glasses work, but that's neither here nor there. It helps me see. I don't know when that happens. And people are like, well, you get older. I'm like, you go to hell. That's what I think about you saying going older. I computer screens all day. And it eventually just became hard to read some stuff. So I wear the glasses and it works out pretty well. And here I am. So here's the story. If you've got a new logo for me, fine. The best is this troll. Oh God, the troll today was so out of his mind. So out of his mind. Your logo sucks. Did it take you 30 minutes? It was like, what? Like this? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just be like, hey, Tony, you should get a better logo. I can help. What? But no, people who want to hate you, they just want to burn it all down. That's why I said if somebody wants to do something, let them. I'm all in. I am all in. Have I found any good bourbons lately? You guys know I host Eat, Drink, Smoke, which is the largest cigar and bourbon radio review program in the country. See, I could do that right up there. Oh, maybe that's where I can put the other TK logos. Hold on a second. Let me see. What if I put this right there? Boom. Hold on. And then I can just go, look at that. Look at that. Should I have that out? There it is. Oh, that's fancy. That is fancy right there. Have I tried any good bourbons recently? Well, we just did the Walcott, which is I think is a Total Wine exclusive, which wasn't the plan. It's just the way it worked out. No, we did Bibb and Tucker, which was it was a good bourbon. It was the price. It was like $82.99 a bottle. And I said, I liked it on a cube more than I liked it neat, but $82.99. I just think that there were other things in there that we could have gone with that would have been better. That would have worked better for me. And so $82.99 is a hard price to pin down for sure. But I'll talk more about bourbon on the show coming up. Right now, we're going to take the break because we're in the radio break. So smoke them if you got them, and we will be right back. I do not know what a Pixar kind of logo would look like, producer Landon. I don't know. Maybe you know people. Hey, welcome back. Tony Katz. Tony Katz today. That's the name of the show. Good to be with you. So we've got the radio show in addition to the live stream. So we wait for the radio show to come back and we bring it to you. So the radio show is 3 hours. We do kind of half of that. We do with the live stream. Maybe I should go longer. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. But I will let's see if I've got this.
Before I let you go, and you've been very generous with your time, I know that.
And we will start with one of the most annoying people on planet Earth. By the way, you could just fit that with so many. David Hogg, Greta Thunberg, Harry Sisson. Who would it be? And why would they all be Gen Z? The truth that my faith in Gen Z is very real. I think they're the most Gen X generation I've seen, which is a good thing. Millennials, they're lost. And no, Buster, you did not steal the focus at all. I'm still a guy who does a show. But if you wanna send a logo idea my way, I will absolutely consider. Absolutely consider. Right? Everybody wants you to help me out. So there it is. We're coming back to the radio show. Glad you guys are here. Don't forget to follow and like in all the places. Let's go.
Before I let you go, and you've been very generous with your time, I know that you were receiving a lot of texts from the HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. Trying to convince you the science of connecting autism to vaccines, which you can tell me about the science there, to the point where you had to block him?
Well, I mean, you guys, everybody, texts take up your phone time. He was relentless, page after page after page. So this year, as you may know, is the 41st anniversary of Spinal Tap. And there's posters. Spinal Tap is a movie, everybody. It holds up. We watched it last year. It's good. But the drummer, the first drummer that explodes, is Ed Begley. I don't want to give too much away. He lived down the street from me. And he knew Bobby Kennedy Jr. when the two of them were very involved in environmental issues. Yeah. So that's how I started getting texts from.
I'm supposed to take medical advice from Bill Nye, the failed comic science guy, and Ed Begley Jr., not from Robert F. Kennedy. This is CNN, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the only redeeming part of this conversation is that Bill Nye thinks that Spinal Tap is cool. Respect. After that, what the hell passes for news over at CNN? Bill Nye is not a scientific expert. Bill Nye is an actor who's still wearing the bow tie. Even Tucker gave up the bow tie. Holy hell. Did I say hello, Tony Katz? Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. Find everything I do over at TonyKatz.com. You want to now have a serious conversation about vaccines and you bring on this guy? His research is better than RFK's research. Now remember, I didn't want RFK to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services. I would not have put that dude anywhere near leadership. But if he wanted to give you thoughts on vaccines, well, there you go. He's got thoughts. He's got data. He's got a whole series of things that he can provide you. You better believe it. Go right ahead. Go get him. I'm going to listen to Bill Nye instead. This is your counter argument, CNN? Good Lord. Let's get back to his great important point about Ed Begley.
Mr. Kennedy.
Real quick, because we're out of time. I assume you tried to
I just told him he's confused causation with correlation. The same old problem. Just because somebody got a vaccination and then somebody else got autism doesn't mean one caused the other. This is science. This is a long time. So that is, Mr. Kennedy's views have been debunked up and down. But
which views? Now, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that he would say about autism. That's not my argument. Which views have been debunked, sir? The view that you need to be 6 feet away from somebody as to not get COVID? The view that you have to keep schools closed? Which view has been debunked here? The view that you can handle all your health problems with just a good bloodletting? I went back to the Steve Martin days there. I mean, as long as we're talking about older comedy, what you need is a good bloodletting. You know, am I the only one who ever saw that routine? No. What's been debunked? You see, he's just confusing causation and correlation. I think you're confusing being called the science guy with actually having a doctorate. And let's make a different argument. You don't have to have a doctorate to know these things. All you have to do is read. Why is it that your reading somehow is more valuable than RFK's readings? I am not even an RFK guy, but this is beyond the pale. Because this is not news. This, Bill Nye on CNN, is propaganda. And by the way, it's not just an interview, it's one-on-one with Bill Nye. You take a look at the lower third, they call it the Chyron, Chyron, the Chyron, one-on-one with Bill Nye, like it's an exclusive. Do you know how many people can get a one-on-one with Bill Nye? I'm assuming you just pay the $50 in the cab fare and he shows up to your kid's birthday party. Who can't get the one-on-one with Bill Nye? Holy cow. Like it's an official thing, like it's serious. Ah, what a scoop. And the boys in the executive suite are like, ha, we got Bill Nye tonight. Yep, we scooped everybody. We scooped Nickelodeon. Adult Swim wanted them, but we got right in there. It's kind of nutty. It's kind of nutty that we now see that there is a probe of James Comey and of John Brennan. Please don't get me wrong. I welcome the probe. These are two terrible, terrible men. James Comey and his handling of things as the FBI director, whether it be Russia, or anything else. And John Brennan, the former CIA director, that communist who wanted to tell you that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation and was proactive in doing so, setting the stage for one of the biggest attacks on free speech we have seen possibly in a generation. The New York Post had the story about Hunter Biden's laptop. They had it cold. They had it right. And it was people like John Brennan. Oh, Russian misinformation. Oh, I'll sign a letter, Russian misinformation. And there it is. Now, I will say that I think that I don't know if President Trump would ever agree to the thing. But I think that the 4 years in between were good for Trump. Please don't get me wrong. They tried everything under the sun. They all the indictments, all the nonsense. I hear you. I hear you out loud. Yet something, I shouldn't say something. I think the resultant of what we see is a guy who was more able to find his people, more able to work with people, more understanding of the positions he wanted to take. For all the hellscape he went through, I do think it helped him greatly. That doesn't excuse the fact that John Brennan not only deserves no security clearance, I would argue John Brennan deserves jail time. Certainly a probe into his horrific acts as an American and as a human being is worthy. Specifically when we talk about the so-called Russian interference. The FBI launching criminal probes. When asked about this, they said, of course, we do not comment on ongoing investigations. That's always the way it's discussed. You've had, of course, Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, calling them disgraceful individuals who, quote, turned against our Constitution and our country. And I'm sure they did, in fact, lie to Congress. And it's up to the Department of Justice to investigate that and to prosecute them if they did. Correct and accurate. And I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I don't lie for anything. I will not lie. I used to lie to myself. I used to lie to others. Those were the days of being miserable. Those were the days of being depressed. Those were the days of being suicidal. I don't do that anymore. I won't lie to myself. I won't lie to you. I won't lie to anyone. It's why I won't play in the pronoun game. You're not he. You're not they. You're a woman or you're a man. And you can call yourself anything you want. I just won't lie to myself and I won't lie to you. I'm not going to be told to lie to myself because when I lied to myself, bad things happened. And when I was honest with myself, good things happened. So I learned in a very Pavlovian way that I shouldn't lie and good things happen. And that's what I do. And I won't lie for anybody. And I'm not interested in somebody else's in somebody else's flights of fancy. Every single thing about this investigation, about this probe into James Comey and John Brennan, screams, hey guys, really sorry about those Epstein files. Just want to apologize. Am I alone in this? Everything about this probe screams, I know you're disappointed. We just won't share them with you. But hey, here's Comey and Brennan. Huh? Here, we're going to probe them. Huh? The probe is, I think, necessary, or an investigation is necessary, because then we should be taking a look at these things that were done. Again, going back to the people who are saying, oh, that was 8 years ago. What does it matter? What does it matter? It matters greatly. I didn't pay my taxes 8 years ago. The IRS is going to quite literally crawl up my butt like their Ant-Man. But somehow you can lie to America and tell them that somebody was under Russian threat or under Russian thumb, or nothing more than a propaganda merchant who's the president of the United States, and you get away with it? Oh, hell no, I'm not going to be around that stuff. Can't allow that stuff. If anything, we need to see what happened so people learn that they can't get away with it. I don't know why that's so shocking and surprising. It's not that I oppose an investigation into either person. But this is a gimme. Because the Epstein thing, and as I said, and I'll get out of saying it because it's disappearing. If I couldn't get the Trump administration to give me the Epstein list, and by the way, you can't convince me there's not a list. I don't care what I'm called. If all this talk and all of a sudden it doesn't matter. I mean, and did you hear Trump on this subject? I don't know if you heard him. He was in the cabinet meeting yesterday, and he's asked about it, and he's like, what are you people doing? Are you really still talking about here it was right here.
Sure. Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy?
Yeah, the president's really wrong there. Yes, we're still talking about it because Pam Bondi, sir, the woman sitting 2 seats to your right. No, the guy next to you is Marco Rubio. The other person in the blue, Pam Bondi, she said she had the materials on her desk and she had handed to influencers. Oh, holy hell, influencers. Good God. Binders. Now, the binders had nothing in them. I mean, it was stuff we already knew. We were told there was a client list. We were told it was obscene and there was pornography and child pornography. It's disgusting. It was terrible. And this and that. And Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, yeah, there's nothing. What? It's like the ending of Usual Suspects. All of a sudden, Pam Bondi's Kaiser Soze walking away, and we don't know what the heck happened. And I have got people on the political right saying this doesn't matter. I can't even believe they're saying it. It's shocking. Shocking to me. Oh, the president doesn't want us talking about it, so it doesn't matter anymore. It of course does. Because you can't let people get away with abusing children. I don't care who they are. If you want a society or not. So the Comey thing and the Brennan thing, I appreciate, but it's a gimme. It's a trade-off. Yep, we screwed you on this thing over here, so here you get this. Don't you feel better? Pat on the head, pat on the head, pat on the head. Not a fan of being treated like that, personally. I'll still support work on the border and a whole host of other things. Certainly on conversations about the Middle East, and we'll get into more of those, but just want everyone to know what it is we saw here, what it is that's happening here, and I don't even think anybody denies it at this stage of the game. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today. Sorry, guys. Back to the show from a quick break. Producer Landon was surprised that yesterday I was talking on the radio show that I liked Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales, and that whole series. I think it was spectacular. Why, producer Landon, would you be shocked to learn this? Oh, I'm not opposed to animation, right? That's different than anime, right? All right. Well, now, guys, I'm working with AI to create logos. Well, this is actually Canva. I'm using Canva AI right here. We'll see. Nope, that's basically what I already do. All right. By the way, good to see everybody here. This is kind of fantastic. Appreciate you. By the way, well, Canva is awesome. Don't use Grok to put a swastika on it. Oh, stop it. It's weird. Don't get me wrong. What's been going on with Grok is super weird. I don't disagree. So here's the headline to scare you. This is Red State. Marco Rubio imposter used AI to contact 5 government officials, including foreign ministers. Oh, well, that's a problem. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. I am pro AI. I am just I am not pro this. U.S. authorities do not know as of yet who is behind the string of impersonation attempts, but they believe the culprit is likely attempting to manipulate powerful government officials with the goal of gaining access to information or accounts. So what they've been able to do is the impersonator contacted foreign ministers, a U.S. governor, members of Congress, sending a voice and text message that mimic Rubio's voice and writing style using AI. This, according to U.S. officials in a State Department cable. The question before us is, when you find the person who did this, are you going to execute them live on television? I mean, I'll do the radio play-by-play. Don't get me wrong. Are we going to broadcast their execution to the world with a warning that is basically nothing more than Wayne Knight from Jurassic Park going, nah-uh-uh, nah-uh-uh? It's my question. Because if we're not going to do that, can I ask, what exactly are we doing? The idea of the hacker is not in and of itself evil or wrong. The person who can show you the issues with your systems, show you where the weaknesses are, this is very helpful. Call quality assurance or whatever else. The hacker who then takes your data and says, give me $1 million or I'll release it or I'll destroy it. Public executions. Now you say to me, Tony, that's pretty violent. You know, now the hacker is going to come after you. If you allow people to silence you out of fear, I think that's a problem. I just don't think you should be taking people's information because you can. Because you have a skill set other people don't have, that you should be able to abuse them for it. Should the person who's physically stronger be allowed to physically attack the people who are physically weaker? I mean, just right there in the middle of the streets. And, oh, well, nothing you can do about it. No, we equalize that force very often via the barrel of a gun or non-lethal methods. So I'm just saying that we should equalize the force. No death penalty, no public execution. Okay. We bomb your house and that of your mother and you lose your thumbs like you're the Pope of Greenwich Village. There are gradations I'm willing to get into. Stealing people's personalities is really about stealing people's reputations. That is frightening stuff. This is Tony Katz today. By the way, I mean, even I do have a good desire for cultural reference, but even for me, this has been a day. This has been one heck of a day. Glad you guys are here. Originally, I was supposed to be on Newsmax at like 3:30 and then 5:30. Now I'm on at 5:20. So be tuned in for that. I'll be with Carl Higbee there on Newsmax. Then looking forward to that conversation. What are we talking about today? Well, I'll tell you. I will tell you. I'm so glad you asked. Thank you. Oh, the whole Austin fire chief. So you've got the floods in Texas. The horror show that this has turned into, and the fire chief in Austin denied deployment to Kerrville, to Kerr County in Texas. Didn't help these people. There's a whole conversation now of no confidence, and there might very well be loss. It's insane. It's an insane story. So that will be one of the conversations that we'll be getting into, that at least that I was scheduled to be into. And the mayor of Chicago says he will never cooperate with ICE. Okay. How about we don't ask you to cooperate, we just arrest you? I think that is a fine way to go about things. We don't even ask for your cooperation as a society, but that's him. That's the mayor of Chicago. Glad you guys are here. Really do appreciate it. Really appreciate the logo thing, which is basically, it looks kind of big. And if it wasn't all this white right here, it would be fine on the shirt. That's the only thing you're talking about. It just seems like too pronounced. Honestly, it's fine. More, I mean, like these, I ordered them, and I think these shirts are just, this one's too big for, like, this is too much room right here. I think it's just too big. But the logo itself is fine. Like, the objective was the mechanic shirt kind of look, which almost has like a Cuba Vera kind of look to it, which I dig. But I think I need to get one that's in a smaller size. That's what I need to do. But that's another story for another day. I appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to find the show. Go to TonyKatz.com. That's where you want to join us and get everything that we do over at TonyKatz.com. I'm loving all the people, but I got to run. I got to run from the live stream. I got to get back to the radio show right now. You are appreciated. And don't forget, oh, I forgot. Oh, look at that. That right there. Come on. That is the Rudin record. So this is from Flederman Von Riest. They are assembled right here in Indiana, in America. Thrilled to be their brand ambassador. Love what they do. All their timepieces. This is the chronograph called the Rudin record. And you can get yours at vonriest.com, RIESTE. Go to vonriest.com. Use promo code CATS and get your discount. Now, everybody who's here, come back tomorrow. We're going to do this again. Come back at noon. This is the place to be. And you hang out. We usually it's an hour and a half of live stream, right? And then, of course, time to go to the bathroom. Maybe we'll go longer. We'll see. But we start at noon Eastern time tomorrow. Be there. Absolutely be there. And go to Von Riest. And get yours. Get yours right there. Wait, well, I need better fitting. What's... First the logo, now my glasses. You know what? I'm starting to think you're all just very mean. That's what I'm starting to think. I appreciate you guys very, very much. I will catch you tomorrow. Take care.